Yes.
Jonesy and Amanda.
50,000 people have so far been affected by the Qantas strike action that we've seen.
348 flights have been delayed or cancelled. Steve Purvinas is the Australian Licensed Aircraft Engineers Association union boss. That's a lot to have on your business card.
Well, he's been described as the militant union boss. Steve joins us right now. Steve, how are you?
Yeah, I'm a really bad bloke, aren't I?
Well,
Hey, how you going?
Militant sort of sounds like, what's the difference between a militant union boss and just a normal union boss?
I don't know, maybe the ones that aren't militant are the ones that get invited into the Qantas Chairman's Lounge, something that I certainly don't enjoy.
Something I'm sure won't be happening soon.
I was imagining some sort of beret would go with the militant.
Yeah.
Steve, the public started off, I think, with a degree of sympathy for you guys, but it looks to me now that you cancel strike action at the last minute, so the union members get paid, but by then it's too late for Qantas to fix the problem, so they still have further delays. Why are you cancelling the union action so late?
Well, we cancelled the action over the weekend when Qantas sent some threatening notices out for our members that created a legal diversion as to what we were about to do on Monday, and we had to get some legal advice on that Monday morning because I only found out about it on Sunday. So by the time that advice had come through, it was still very confusing about whether the letters sent by Qantas were legal or not, and to play it safe and not jeopardise the livelihoods of our members, we thought we'd better call the action off. It's
happened a couple of times, though. You can see why people might be losing patience. You said yesterday that if the Australian public was thinking of flying Qantas before Christmas, they should think again. This could result in enormous job losses for people of your very union.
Yeah, if you think about industrial action in our industry, we would have a stoppage or do something like that, and naturally you would think that, well, that's going to disrupt passengers. But our intention is not to disrupt passengers, it's to stop the cash flow that Qantas are using to invest in overseas companies that compete directly with Qantas for routes into Asia. So our intentions all along are not to put passengers out. In fact, we've actually offered to the airline, and every time I write to them and say, we're going to have a stoppage, I put in there that we'd be more than happy to help coordinate members of ours who were rostered off on that day to come into work to make sure that there's no need for any disruptions at all, and Qantas just continually reject that offer. They would rather see passengers disrupted. They would rather spend millions of dollars in newspaper advertisements claiming that X number of people have been affected by union activity when in actual fact a lot of those people who have been disrupted or the services that have been cancelled have been due to planes that have had mechanical problems.
Steve, what would make you happy?
We're seeking job security terms that would allow us to continue carrying out aircraft maintenance on Qantas aircraft within Australia, and the way that Qantas have been handling the negotiations, they keep on rejecting our job security claims, and then on top of that they go and announce that they're going to start up a new company overseas with our money. That is, they're going to invest $9 billion on 110 new aircraft. Not one of them is coming to Qantas. And at the same token, we've been arguing in Melbourne for 8 years trying to get a stand so our guys can reach certain parts of the 737 aircraft they maintain down there, and they still haven't delivered the stands.
Steve, you said your intention isn't to disrupt the public, but that's what's happening. What can we look forward to in coming weeks and months?
Look, unless there's a resolution to this dispute, which is looking unlikely at the moment, we've called for a meeting with Qantas tomorrow and they've said no, they don't want to meet with us. I would be expecting that our union will continue to apply industrial pressure on the airline. That is, we are going to notify of further stoppages. We're going to continue to offer union organised strike breakers so that passengers won't be put out. Qantas will probably continue to reject that offer. So rather than avert the possibility of people having their plans disrupted, we're simply telling people that there's plenty of other options out there. Give Qantas a break for a while, and when this dispute is over, we're confident that the 35,000 employees who work for the airline will all work with the company to make sure it's better than it has been in the past.
I think if you speak to most Australians, they'd like to see the flying kangaroo stay Australian.
Yeah, that's probably the key part of our campaign is we want to keep Qantas Australian, and the way that they're going about things, they've cancelled or they've cancelled flights to a number of destinations like Rome and Athens and San Francisco and cutting back on services. And of all things, come April of next year, they're actually going to stop the QF1 flight, which is their flagship flight, Sydney, Bangkok, London. They're going to stop the Bangkok-London sector 3 months before the Summer Olympics in England. So it's just absurd, some of the things that they're doing there. They're cannibalising the core part of the business at the expense of these new operations that they're starting up in Asia.
And could this happen, what we saw with Ansett? Would this be the same? Are you saying this would be the same path that Ansett had back in the 90s?
Yeah, the bean counters come into Ansett late in the 90s, and assets stripped the place, and a lot of the transfer of assets went to Air New Zealand at the time. And we had a look at the players around Ansett during the final years, and one name amongst many others appears prominent, and that's Alan Joyce. Alan Joyce was a strategic analyst at Ansett during those final years. And when you get these bean counters who come in, they have absolutely no experience, operational experience working for airlines. They're going to continue to look at the figures and say, oh, if we can shift these assets from A to B, we might be able to make a couple of dollars. But what they don't understand is the whole concept of the aviation industry and what makes Qantas what it is today. And that's its excellent safety record, and that hasn't come about through chance.
Well, thanks
Steve,
for joining us.
Thank you for explaining your side of the story. As all Australians, we hope that the disruption doesn't last much longer, but thanks for your time today.
Hey, thanks, guys. See you later.
Steve. And you look at every industry's the same, though, isn't it? I've got mates that work in the automotive industry, like in the radio industry. It's all the same.
But I guess at the same time, then as Australians, we have to accept we may need to pay more. If it's cheaper for us to go offshore and we're choosing not to go offshore, then we have to accept financially that may make a difference. So there's a lot of things that come into play here.